Slayer gets the walk-off. I don't think we've lost to the Braves. Well, I was looking at
Fisher, he
0-8,
put it
actually,
in there.
yeah.
0-8 since the Colts and Braves have joined the CABL. You guys have had their number. 8 straight wins over the Braves. And by the Braves, that was a tough day for them. A pair of walk-off losses. They lost earlier to the Mudcats in walk-off fashion, and then later in the day. And that was a big game for playoff seeding.
Yeah, that helped us out. I know. I think we bumped up a couple spots. Win put us at 500 as well. So for the year, which after the way we started out, I'm really happy that we're at 500.
Yeah, put you in a pretty good spot. Out at Testerman Park, Deerfield played those Orioles. We were talking about them earlier, and just another testament to how competitive the O's have been this year. This was a 5-3 game. Let's not forget Deerfield, a team that just beat the Hooks and smoked the Meridians in back-to-back games. They beat the Orioles by a score of 5-3. Old Redbeard, Brandon Decker, 3 hits and a triple. Kyle Breeden with a pair of hits, while John Cattleman and Chad Hafler combined for 10 Ks to keep the O's off balance. So Deerfield gets a much-needed win. They're trying to pass the Braves for that 6th seed, and that certainly went a long way in doing so. Meridians and Yankees out at Sycamore. Well, this was not a great moment for my ball club. I had more guys missing than showed up, and it showed on you can't do that against a good team. Meridians come out swinging. They get 3 in the first inning, 3 in the second, and go on to win by a final score of 9-3. Joe Mills put a cap on this ball game. It was 6-2. He hits a 3-run bomb into the trees to make it 9-2 at that point, and that was pretty much the ball game. Nate Carell does a nice job pitching for the Meridians. He went 8 innings against us. I don't really have a whole lot to say on my side. If you got nothing good to say, don't say anything at all. So we're moving on to Schuler with the Hooks and Bulls then.
Yeah, so out at Schuler we had the Hooks and the Bulls going. And Hooks come out and put their double digits up and take down the Bulls 11-1. From what I was looking at, it looks like it was actually a tighter game than the score. So it was 1-1 through 6. But then which we've seen time and time again this year, late innings, the Hooks just seem to want to turn it on, and there they go.
Yeah.
And they light them up. Out at McNick, we had the Reds and the Expos. Those guys went at it. Expos took down the Reds 7-6. Was that? That's not part of
that. Was the continue?
Yeah,
that was the continuation.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
we
that
had,
6-6 game.
Yep.
So the Expos able to at least gain a split of the series, and that went a long way for them. The Reds really needed both of those to put themselves in good playoff position. So that's a huge, huge win for the Expos. How about the one at WCBC? I'm guessing the wind was blowing out. What do you think?
Well, I was just trying to wonder if they changed the balls out and we just actually did play with the football that day. Cause
were they playing softball? I don't know what happened there. 37 runs? Mercy.
Yeah. Dragons 19, Tigers 18. Wow, slugfest out there. Man, I don't know what to say about that. That's a lot of runs. Either no defense or guys were just trying to get some other guys qualified.
Yeah, I guess. I'll say this about the Tigers because I know the Dragons threw last week's Player of the Week, Pete Levitt, out there, former Florence Freedom pitcher, and the Tigers apparently hit him pretty well. This Tigers team can score some runs, 18 of them there. They've lost games in which they've scored 12 runs in the last 2 weeks. We talked about that last week. If they could ever get some pitching and or defense, I tell you what, this could be a pretty scary ball club. But right now they're losing a lot of high-scoring games, giving up a ton of runs right now, and hard to win when you're surrendering 19 runs.
Yeah, that's it. But again, we talked about there's Dorian out there again, 4 for 6 in that game, 2 RBIs. Those guys, like you said, they can hit. They flat out can hit. They had a couple homers in that game too. Kyle and Ricky both homer in that game. Ricky
Roberts, 4 for 6 home runs, 6 ribbies. Well, that's a pretty good day at the office, but. Well, you score 18 runs, your chances of winning are like 99.8%.
Yeah.
This was that one in a million that you end up losing the ball game, and that's a tough one to lose, 19-18. Brewers took on the Flying Tigers out at Wyoming, and a 12-1 Brewers win, and Brew Crew win, I should say. You know what that means, Ray?
Another J-ism.
Stupid Americans. Glorious leader introduced his most lethal secret weapon. Corporal El Gato Grande upon the hapless flying pig dog tiger men to deliver effective results. The Brew Crew will steamroll the CincyABL to rule supreme henceforth. No mention of Mother. I did like the flying pig dog tiger man. It was kind of interesting.
The Corporal El Gato Grande just got me. I saw that. I had to text you earlier with that one. I saw that earlier. I just was dying laughing at my desk at work, and I was checking up on some of the scores and stuff, trying to get caught up for tonight's show, and trying to catch up on the weekend since I wasn't here in town, and oh my God, I saw that. I was dying laughing. I was like, some of the things he comes up with is just unreal.
He comes up with some crazy stuff. Speaking of crazy stuff, rain out on a turf field at Foundation. Apparently, the sprinklers, I think that's what the story I heard. The sprinklers were left on overnight, flooded the outfield. Nothing wrong with the infield, but can't play with the lake in the outfield. That ball game got rained out, and Ryan Roth puts on the website, having received his chicken one day earlier and a Cuban cigar, Jobu promises Knights a no-hitter. Jobu sends rain and floods Foundation. Well played, Jobu. Well played. So
they got
Ryan
the
had
no-hitter.
a little bit. You got the no-no. Yeah, you can give up a hit to the sun. So having a little fun with the rain out. I'll let you get the last two here, including big game there out of Foundation.
Yeah. You mean out Finneytown? They played out Finneytown.
I'm sorry. I see F's everywhere. Yes. Finneytown, Foundation.
You see the F's.
They're
and
everywhere.
You see the Dodgers. You
right.
figured Foundation, right? So
exactly.
No, but it's
Foundation
out
on the brain.
That's all right. We had the Sting playing the Dodgers out there, and the Sting take down the Dodgers 8-3 out at Finneytown. So Finneytown, that's like the reverse curse. Dodgers going to Finneytown to have to play them, and then they get the curse.
Goes the other way. But I'll tell you what, the big news in this game, I noticed Jeff Sanders hadn't pitched in a couple of years in this league. First ballot Hall of Famer in this league, one of the greatest pitchers ever. Had tons and tons of battles with Jeff over the year with the Sting. Great competitor, one of the greatest players we've ever had. Good to see him back there throwing some Sundays. I know he moved a couple hours north. He's playing with the Dayton Wolves when he can play, and it's like he's driving all the way down here on Sundays to play a little bit now. So good to see Sandy back in action there. Congrats to him, as that's somewhere around his 135th, 136th career win. I know I only know that number because Jim Demler passed Sandy last year for the all-time record. So good to see Sanders back at it and back in a Sting uniform.
Yeah, glad to have you back, Sandy, and see if maybe you can get back there. That's a long way to come every week.
Yeah,
I know we got a couple guys that do that too. So when they can. So hopefully we'll be able to get back and play though. And then last game of the day we had out at Franklin. We had the Mudcats taking on the Braves. And this was a continuation game as well, and they played before we played the Braves actually. So Mudcats, put a little hurting on them to help us out to where we get that one extra run over top of them. But Mudcats take down the Braves 8-7. That's a good win out there for the Mudcats. And Sundays, they're always tough to beat on Sundays. Mudcats, when they got everybody there, they're very very tough.
They can be tough. And this was a rather bizarre ending to this game. It ended on a sac fly and kind of a collision at home plate there. I saw the video of it when the Mudcats guys put the video up on Facebook. Strange ending to a ball game. They called interference there at home plate and on the throw in, and the run scored, and that was a walk-off win. So Mudcats get the big win, and they even the season series with the Braves 1-1. And when we get to next week's games, I guess it's a rubber match coming up because they will play a third time. But before we get to next week's games, we got to figure out who the player of the week is, Ray.
Yeah, we got to go through. We got a good list of games here to go through. I'm leaning with a couple players. Who you going to take? I'm going to let you go first.
Okay, I'll go first. A lot of good candidates. I look at that Tigers game. You had Ricky Bobby with the home run, the 6 RBIs. Dorian West, 2 4-hit games this week. Jake Dillon with a 5-hit game. A lot of guys that had big games this week. But I tell you what, I'm going to have to go with a guy who did it not only at the plate but also on the mound. And I'm talking about Anthony Bennett from the Mudcats. He hits a grand salami against the Hooks. That alone should get you player of the week. But he also goes out, throws a complete game, and beats the Hustle on Sunday in a big game that keeps the Mudcats' playoff hopes alive as well. So I'm going to go Anthony Bennett. Despite there being a lot of really good candidates this week, Bennett's the guy I'm going with this week.
You got me right there because that's who I was looking at too, and wanted to do. But I'm going to add a little something. So Anthony Bennett, he's going to be their player of the week. We're going to vote that one in there. But I'd like to do a little special here and have a comeback player of the week and having Sandy come back down and pitch. And
there you go. I like it.
We'll add him in as a comeback player of the week to be able to come back down and play in the league and have a nice outing. So we'll do. He'll get a half a bag of seats. He'll get the 50-cent bag.
There you go, the small bag. Well, good to see Sandy back in a Sting uniform, and hopefully it'll be more of a regular occurrence seeing him back out there. One of the great competitors in the history of this league. Well, time now, Ray. Well, time to go over to the Hot Corner, a weekly segment where we catch up with players and coaches who are making news in the CABL.
And this episode of the Hot Corner is brought to you by McFall Firm, LLC. If you've been hurt in a car accident, you know you're going to have to deal with someone's insurance company, right? You know the stress is coming. So why not hire an attorney that used to represent insurance companies? Attorney Tanner McFall with the McFall Firm is that guy. Former assistant prosecutor and former insurance defense counsel for one of America's largest insurance companies. From their team to yours, Attorney Tanner McFall levels the playing field. Give McFall a call, 513-469-0888. Again, that number is 513-469-0888. Or check him out online at McFallFirm.com. That's McFallFirm.com. Protect your recovery. Call McFall today.
And this week's guest is the manager of the Sting. He also chairs the league's rules committee and helps to secure many of the fields that we use. And on top of that, not too shabby as a player. Everyone in the league does owe this guy a debt of gratitude for all the work he does for us, and certainly makes my life easier, I can tell you that. Our pleasure to welcome Adrian Sheau into the Hot Corner. Adrian, thanks for joining us tonight.
You're welcome. Good to be here.
Well, good to have you. I know typically on Monday nights you're sitting there with the wife watching Bachelor in Paradise, so we'll try to get you through this quick and tell Emily we thank you for giving us a few minutes so that we can get you back to your show. She'll get you caught up.
Yeah, she was pretty thrilled to have me go downstairs, and she's watching that. I'm watching something else. So.
Oh, don't lie. You'll be watching it with her in about 10 minutes. You know it.
He's got to catch it up. He's got it muted right now. He's got it on the backside muted.
I can almost hear Chris Harrison in the background. Well, Adrian, you've been.
I got pictures of him hanging out my room, you know.
Oh, we don't want to hear about that. You've been in the league now for 5 years. Let's talk a little bit about how you got into the CABL. It wasn't your first taste of adult league baseball. You were playing in the CRC with Mark Dietz and the Cobalts. How'd you get into this league?
Well, I played with Dietz and Cobalts for a few years, and we had a couple pretty good runs. And the last season we had hosted a regional, and frankly we had a lot of the college kids that were more interested in hanging out and not showing up to play. So we shut the team down, and I asked John. I said, "Hey, who should I go play with? Because I still want to play." And he says, "Well, call these guys on the Sting and see if they'll let you play." So called the manager of the Sting, and he was kind of hesitant, didn't know what my stats or qualifications were, and kind of relayed I had a little experience playing, and he says, "Well, yeah, you can probably come out and play for us."
Well, I would say it worked out just fine. After you told him you played at Villanova and a little bit professionally, I'm guessing it didn't take a whole lot of hesitation to get you out there with, was it Caligaris and Sherrard at the time with the Sting, am I correct?
Yeah, it was those two guys.
Was you on the Sting when they went down to Florida and won the year they won it a few years back? Or was that?
I was not. Okay. Yeah, that was a few years before my time.
All right.
Yeah, and that was a few years, took a few guys down there, the Taylor brothers, as I recall, a couple Cobalt guys. They always seem to have a good connection with those. Your Sting team that we talked about certainly changed a little bit over the last couple of years. But you've done a nice job building the roster back up. In fact, we played last week. Got some good-looking young players. Zane Vogelsang, you had a kid playing shortstop, made a heck of a couple plays on us, and some good young players you've got there.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty realistic with how we build a team. I tell these guys very honestly, I don't really have a whole lot of time between work and kids and everything else that I just can't go out there and recruit players. So if you guys know anyone that's good and wants to play ball, then have them give me a call and we'll figure it out. And so by sheer luck, we've kind of rolled a couple guys from other teams that have folded into ours. And Corey, the guy that played short that game, he coaches with me down at McNick. So that was a pretty easy question to him. Hey, Corey, you want to play ball? Absolutely. So that's how we got Corey. And Zane and his dad were guys on the Rangers last year, and the Rangers team folded. So I just, a lot of guys in this league are they know someone, they're from here, and, it makes it easier for those guys to go out and recruit and find players. But, we're just a mix. I mean, my guys are